Ah, now that was a good vacation. Sometimes a pony's just gotta take some time off from work and relax. Which is the exact lesson Applejack learned in this episode. I've heard some complaints that this episode was kind of a retread of Applebuck season from season 1, but I don't really see it that way. Because Applejack was willing to let Twilight help her out, she just had to be talked into it. And honestly, the fact that they do kind of fall back into their negative traits every once in a while is one of the things I really do enjoy about the show. Because you really don't have just a magic epiphany and that's it, all your negative traits are gone. Sometimes you do fall back into old habits and you have to have your friends remind you, hey, stop doing that, remember? That's not a good thing to do. Plus, unlike Applebuck season, Applejack was trying to get some time off to relax, but things just kept building up on the farm. Granted, she was making things harder on herself if she had to, but when you fall into a routine, well, that happens. Heck, one of my favorite bits from this episode was when she was going on her little rant about how the spa ponies just kind of accepted their problems while she was going on these crazy things to do her chores. Especially the looks on Twilight and Rarity's faces. Then, heck, even the look of realization on Applejack's face when Rarity kind of used her own words against her. It's a big reason of why I like those two interacting, and yes, why I totally ship them. And sweet Celestia, did this episode ever deliver in the Rarejack department? I mean, let's just break down the basic plot of this episode. Rarity was annoyed that Applejack was working too hard and not spending enough time with her. How many movies and sitcoms and novels and what have you have used that exact same premise with their couples? The answer is a lot. Heck, I'm convinced it was Rarity who got Applejack to go to the spa in the first place. And she came to really enjoy it, especially since it let her spend time with Rarity alone. In a tiny, enclosed room full of steam, where who knows what could happen. And then Sorry, what was I talking about again? Oh, right, the episode. Fun stuff. Especially getting to see more of Aloe. I think this is the most lines she's had in the entirety of the series. But I like it. I like that they're expanding a lot of the background characters. Especially since it lets them interact with the main six. It lets the main six break out of this little clique bubble they've been in for quite a while. I really do think Slice of Life helped with that. And I'll be talking about that here soon enough. For now, I also want to point out that I loved Applejack's suiting up to fix things montage. And she looked pretty cute in her little tool time outfit. And that little bit showed that even in the magical land of Equestria, duct tape solves everything. Also, not to get in between Applejack and something she really wants. Yeah, some of that stubborn side was showing through there. But again, I like that, because she's slipping back into old habits and had to be reminded, hey, stop that, like I said. Plus, she wasn't doing it out of a pride thing, more of a thing to help other ponies. So, there's the growth there with a mixture of old habits. One question I do have, though, is where did Rarity keep putting that watch? There's some unfortunate implications there. No, unless, of course, she's taking a device from Pinky and shoving it in her hair. Oh, and of course I can't forget Rainbow's appearance in this episode. Seems like Applejack's not the only tough gal that likes being pampered every so often. She even had the tank slippers too, that was adorable. And her joining Applejack and Rarity in the sauna brings up some interesting ideas, but I'll leave those for other parts of the fandom to discuss. For now, I'll say this was just another really enjoyable episode. Maybe not the most eventful, but it featured my favorite ship getting a lot of screen time, so I'm happy. Now, if you'll excuse me, much like Applejack, I need to get back to work and start unpacking. So join me again when I share more of my pony thoughts. Now, let's see if those boxes are still where I left them. Ah! Oh, hi!